Hello, my name is Tim. You'll find me as part of the Pottering Around team. We do vlogs around theme parks that we visit, as well as days out and travel stuff on our YouTube channel, Pottering Around. I run that with my wife Emily. And I also run the Tim Potter Travel Company. I'm a travel agent, and we have a whole dedicated section called Guide to the Magic. So what we want to do today is we're going to be taking a slightly deep dive with the information that we have about the new launch of the meal plans at the Disneyland Paris Resort. Now, they currently do meal plans, but they are making some significant changes to these. These will take effect, starting in September, if you are going to be staying after or on or after the 1st of April 2027. So essentially the next launch. Today is the 10th of August, Monday the 10th of August. So we're still awaiting the launch, which normally happens sort of very late August, normally the first week of September for Disneyland Paris. So if you're looking to visit between April 2027 and March 2028. Those will be going on sale very soon. And in preparation for that, we have had a look at the new information for the Disneyland Paris meal plans. They are getting awfully complicated, so we just wanted to pop a little short video together just to give you some advice, and obviously invite you, if you want us to help you plan your Disneyland Paris holiday or any other Disney park, Universal, or any of the other theme parks, Efteling, Portaventura, ones that we do quite regularly, then do get in contact with the Guide to the Magic at the Tim Potter Travel Company, and we'll be happy to assist us. If you want more theme park content, follow Pottering Around, our YouTube channel. We've got some great vlogs on there from theme parks around Europe and around the world, and we will hopefully be bringing you more later this year. So if you are staying on site at Disneyland Paris, in one of the Disneyland Paris hotels, you will have the option to add the Disneyland Paris meal plan. Just a couple of notes. So going forward, this meal plan will cover essentially those sit-down reservation, table service and buffet restaurants. So the all-you-can-eat buffets, the table service meals, which are normally like a prefix menu affair, as well as character dining is included in some of the meal plans. What's not included and what you shouldn't expect to be included in the meal plan are things like snacks. So unlike Florida and Paris, no snack credits, and you can't use you can't sort of trade the value in against snacks at snack carts. And some of the other snack locations, Cable Car Bake Shop or even Market House Deli, so those sort of snack locations and kiosks around the park, you can't use the meal plan at. The other thing to just put a word of warning is, whilst you can use the meal plan at quick service fast food and even the fast casual places that Disney advertise, it's really bad value, terrible value in fact, to do so. So we strongly recommend don't plan to use your meal plan credits at a fast food, quick service, or even these sort of smarter fast casual places like the Lucky Nugget and Sports Bar and Grill, because you will end up losing value on those plans. Another word of warning is because it's only these bigger meals now that are included in the Disney dining plan, or Disneyland Paris meal plan as they call it, the full board option probably is a bit of a misleading one. You can end up purchasing too much food, essentially, because you can't use it at those quick service locations, or you lose value at those quick service locations. So you are going to be losing value if you don't actually have 2 full meals a day in addition to your breakfast, if you've added that on. So just a word of warning, I would strongly recommend just doing 1 meal a day if you're doing dining plan, and then maybe buying one out of pocket. So the first big change that we're seeing for the 2027 meal plans at Disneyland Paris is breakfast is going to have options. So for the first time ever, you're going to be able to drop breakfast altogether. Now, breakfast was traditionally always included. It was always a hotel buffet breakfast that was included, and that certainly is still an option. But there is an option to have no breakfast whatsoever, and you can just buy the meal plan with just credits for the table service. Now, I will put some caveats in here. the pricing we've had to do an exchange rate from euros to pounds. So when we get the actual sterling pounds booking prices through the booking systems, then this might be more accurate because we don't know exactly what exchange rate Disney are going to be using. Also, the information that we had from Disney was slightly vague, so we've had to make some assumptions up in places, and breakfast is a little bit of an assumption because it's a slight deviation to what was previously done at Disneyland Paris. So one of the new things that, again, we've not got a lot of information of, but we have seen a little bit of it is in the parks, is the introductory of a sort of cheaper, quick service breakfast option. Now, currently, the places that are offering this is the Sports Bar and Grill in Disney Village, in the Disney Village. That's before you get to the theme parks, but outside the hotels. And also the Nordic Crowns Tavern in World of Frozen in Disney Adventure World is offering a sort of quick service breakfast. And I think we're going to start seeing a couple of other locations offering a quick service breakfast for guests who don't want to go back to the hotel after extra magic hours, or want to get an early start, or want to get breakfast actually in the parks. This is going to be slightly cheaper than the buffet breakfast because it's going to be more of a quick service grab and go type breakfast. And it's not got a child price at the moment. They're only seeing an adult price. So we reckon it's going to be about £13 per person per night for this quick service breakfast to be added onto the meal plan instead of the buffet breakfast. The buffet breakfast is still going to be an option, and what we're seeing is, from the information we've got, Disneyland Paris is going to be going to a flat price buffet breakfast across all the hotels. So we're going to see it at around about £23 per person per night for adults and £18 for children. Irrelevant of whether you're staying in the Disneyland Paris hotel or in Santa Fe, or so yeah, that's going to be a slight variation on that. I don't know what's going to happen at Crockett's Davy Crockett Ranch, whether the takeaway breakfast will be classified as this quick service breakfast, or what's going to be exactly happening there. So I'm sure those details will come through as soon as the actual launch happens in September, and we'll be able to fill in the gaps. But yeah, 3 different options for breakfast and going to a flat price, irrelevant of what hotel. So that's quite a deviation for Disneyland Paris, which essentially used to charge a lot more for the Disneyland Paris hotel breakfast than it did for the Santa Fe one. So we'll see how that works out in reality, but it does give you as a guest some flexibility, because if you weren't having that big hotel breakfast or didn't want it, then that really made the meal plan a no-go for you. So now there is going to be a bit of flexibility on that. So the next changes we are going to see are with what they're calling them experiences. So you can choose the level of experience. At all the hotels, you can choose between these 4 experiences, except for the Disneyland Paris hotel. That's a 5-star hotel, and at that hotel you will only have the option of adding signature or royal levels onto your booking, because that's probably more in line with what they are expecting you to take up when you stay there. Obviously, you can choose to have no meal plan, and then you've got the freedom to go and pay out of pocket for what you wish. So there is now going to be 4 levels. Was previously 3. So the 3 levels that were current was a standard, a plus, which was sort of the go-to one that fitted most of the hotels, and then the premium, which was really the Disneyland Paris hotel meal plan. And we're going to explain how these new levels differ into what is currently offered. So first of all, I've put 4 levels on the screen, starting off with Essential, and you'll see that Disneyland Paris is going to advertise that is available at 18 locations across the hotels, the village, and the theme parks. However, as I said, using the Disneyland Paris meal plan at quick service locations is just really terrible value. You don't want to be doing it. So actually, we're going to say that is good value at 5 locations, 4 of them being buffets, 1 of them being table service. They're all either in the hotels or in the Disney Village. There's no options apart from the really terrible value quick service options in the parks. So just bear that in mind if you're looking at the Essential plan. The extra plan has got slightly more choice on it. That's got 8 buffets and 4 table service, so that's 12 good sort of better value locations that you could choose, and a couple of them are in the theme parks. The signature, now this is essentially almost a plus, plus the current plus like for like. That's available at 9 buffets, 8 table service, but yeah, don't be fooled by that 30 locations, because again, that does include all those quick service locations that Disney would want you to spend your vouchers at and lose value on them. And then the Royal. Now, Royal, whilst it is available and you can spend it at 34 locations throughout the park, you would be losing a hell of a lot of money if you did so. So that's really only good value for the 5 character dining experiences that are offered in either in the parks or at the Disneyland Hotel. So let's look at that essential plan in a little bit more detail. Now, this is the basic sort of option. This is going to be primarily targeted at those who are staying in those value hotels, so Hotel Cheyenne, Santa Fe, and the Davy Crockett Ranch lodges. The options and the places, the venues, the locations that accept this voucher for full payment of their the service is going to be like the Chuckwagon Cafe, La Cantina, and Crockett's Tavern, based on those 3 hotels that we just mentioned, and also the Grange and Billy Bob's Buffet. Now, on Disney, they advertise those as 2 separate locations. However, here I would say they're only classified as 1. They're the same menu. It's a slightly varied experience, but it's very much the same experience that you're going to get. Slightly different locations, but the same experience you're going to get at both of those. So you're not really visiting 2 separate restaurants, if that makes sense. The experience is definitely the same. The other place you can use it in Disney Village, you can use it at Annette's Diner. That's a table service sort of American style diner serving burgers and that sort of food, and that you can use it against one of the prefix menus there, which is and I've put the prices on there. So the average buffet cost is about £35. The table service is a little bit cheaper on that prefix. And as you can see, I put the prices on the meal plan to compare. So that's at £28 per adult. So if you just went for the one table or buffet per day, and then obviously if you add breakfast on, it's £41 or £51, depending on the type of breakfast. So whether you go for quick service or the buffet breakfast. Now that obviously shows you there is some saving to be made on that if you want to maybe £5 or £6. Again, another caveat, the prices that I've shown for the buffets and the table service and the average prices there, that's based on the current price. We do know that Disney does like to put a couple of euros on every year, so we suspect that that will go up a little bit over the next year before you actually could stay from the 1st of April 2027. So that price might go up a little bit, but hopefully there's still some value there in these meal plans. The extra plan, now this is the next level up. So this doesn't really have, this is again another new plan like the essential plan. It doesn't really represent the standard. This is available at a few more locations. So there's more buffets. It is also available at the locations in both Newport Bay Club and in Sequoia Lodge. So the buffets and table service restaurants in those are included in this plan. There is also a couple of places in the parks that is included. So Pym's Kitchen in Avengers Campus, Agrabah Cafe, the buffet in Adventureland in Disneyland Park, as well as Silver Spur Steakhouse. And then in addition, there's also the steakhouse at Disney Village this is accepted at. So there is a few more locations, so you're going to get 12 locations altogether. However, quite a bit more expensive. It's £9 per person per night for the adult price, more expensive than the essential one. And it doesn't really add a huge amount more, just a few restaurants. So maybe if you're staying at Sequoia and Newport Bay, you might want to add this one on, but given the fact that the next level is not much more, I'd possibly be thinking of doing Signature. And talking about signature, let's move on to that. So this has got a lot more value in it in regards to the options. It's only £5 more than that extra level, so it's £42 per adult for just the meal plan with no breakfast, 55 with the quick service, and 65 with the buffet breakfast, and then the children prices are sort of stated on the screen there. This does entitle you to use a slightly more expensive buffet, so places like downtown restaurants. So if you're staying at the Art of Marvel, this is the plan you probably want to go for, because it's also got a Manhattan restaurant, the table service there as well. It does include lunch at Plaza Gardens. Now, one thing to note, Plaza Gardens does both character dining and lunch without, and from the literature we've seen, that's not going to be changing. So lunch will be without characters, so that's what you can use your table plan, your meal credit towards, unless you've got the next level up, which you can use the character dining, or you can trade it against a character dining location, in which case you just book that and then you pay the difference when you stay, or add it onto your reservation if you're doing it during the booking process. So the other great thing about the signature plan is it includes the three what I'd call signature theme park restaurant experiences. These are go-to experiences. I think if you enjoy food and you want a couple of hours out of the theme park in a restaurant, having a really immersively themed experience, Waltz on Main Street, that's on the first level, sort of on the left-hand side if you're going down towards the castle. Great views of Main Street through the windows. The dining rooms are all themed to the creation of the original Disneyland Park here in Paris, as well as some historic references to the other parks that created. So each dining room is themed after a different land, and certainly would encourage you to go off and explore and look at the photos on the wall and look at the propping around the dining room. It's a great restaurant. Generally comfort type food. Certainly Walt's chili was always a popular item there. So fairly basic menu, but it was very nicely presented, quite tasty. So I'd say that's a great experience. Captain Jack's, that's the Caribbean style restaurant in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. So you've actually got the ride boats floating past you through the bayou scene as you're down in Captain Jack's. I think it's a lovely atmosphere there. Emily's not so keen on the menu. I quite liked it, but it is Caribbean, so it is potentially a little bit sort of fish heavy, and there is quite a little bit of spice there. But I think it's a great, again, another signature offer. And then finally, in Disney Adventure World and the Worlds of Pixar, there's Bistro Chez Remy, which is right by the Ratatouille, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure attraction. Great ride. Great restaurant, because the ride ends in it. So it's sort of got synergy with the ride. And great theming in this restaurant. You're shrunk down to the size of a rat, so you're going to be sitting on the little cork bottles under the little cocktail umbrellas, and enjoying, essentially it's a French steak restaurant. A great experience, and one of those sort of must-dos at some point if you're visiting Disneyland Paris or visit regular. I think these three are ones you want to do. And they are included in the signature plan, which is priced starting at £42 for just the meal plan, and then 55 and 65 with the breakfast options. So this gives you the sort of widest variety of dining options, but it is most expensive bar the Royal, but there's some caveats on the Royal plan. So let's move across to the Royal. The Royal plan. This is essentially replacing what is currently the premium dining plan, which is primarily used for stays at the Disneyland Hotel. And I certainly think that this is where this one's going to be based, although apparently you can buy this plan now irrelevant of where you are staying, according to the literature. So this is really expensive, £79 for a credit. So those credits are really high value. So that, as I said earlier, as I alluded to earlier, that's only going to make this plan good value if 100% of the dinners and lunches that you do are character dining experiences that are valued more than £79 or more. The character dining experiences in Paris are quite pricey. They're all around about €100 at the moment. So yeah, that £79 does give you a little bit of value against then, but as soon as you start using it, even against a really nice sort of waltz dinner or bistro chez Remy, you're still losing quite a significant sort of £30 value on that meal. So, or £30 plus value on that meal. So it's really, really not worth doing unless you are doing character dining 100% of the time. One thing to note, so at the moment, the premium plan does include breakfast with characters in any of the breakfast with character locations. This plan doesn't seem to include that. So this plan, breakfast with characters, would be supplemented like it is on all the other plans. But the lunches and the dinners will include the character dining at no supplement. So Plaza Gardens. There's three places in the parks. Plaza Gardens is currently closed for refurbishment. We're expecting that to reopen next year, so it will be open for the 2027 meal plan. So that is currently priced at £70 for adults and £35 for children. That is only available at dinner time. So Plaza Gardens at lunchtime is not a character dining opportunity. So don't go reserving it if you want characters. You need the evening meal. So I would speak to your travel advisor, or if you're booking directly with Disneyland Paris, book it with the reservation, with the hotel reservation. But this needs I suspect that the price will go up. I do expect that the price for the Plaza Gardens is going to go up nearer the price of the other character dining opportunities because it's been closed for a while. So I think we're going to be going into the same sort of price bracket as some of the other ones. It might be the slightly cheaper option, but I would expect a price rise on that one. That is probably still going to be the classic Disney characters, Mickey, Minnie, Donald Duck, probably some random Pinocchio, Geppetto is normally there. You might also get some Pixar characters. You might get Jessie or Woody or Buzz Lightyear or something like that. So depending on what characters are available that day, they do tend to rotate them quite a lot for these character dining experiences. Aubergine de Celeron or the Cinderella Inn, that's an existing sort of long-running princess dining experience in Fantasyland in the very, very pretty restaurant, priced at £87 for adults, £44 for children. Quite a sophisticated menu as well in that restaurant. So you do need to have a look at the menus before sort of planning these experiences. Just because it's princesses doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be still good value for you. But if you do want to do it, then that's available on this plan. And so is the brand new Regal View restaurant that's on Adventure Bay, and that's another princess dining opportunity. Again, quite a pricey one. It's around about €100, so about £87. In the Disneyland Hotel. Now, even if you're not staying at the Disneyland Hotel, you can dine there with a reservation. So Table de Luminaire, that's the most expensive experience that Disney offers at Disneyland Paris. Well, certainly within the scope of the meal plan. £105, so it's about €120, £53 for children. So yeah, really, really pricey dinner. That is, again, it's sit down table service with Disney princesses, similar to the Cinderella Inn meal, but in the Disneyland Hotel. And there's also the buffet, and that's back to classic Disney characters. So that's again priced at the same price, around the €100 price as the others. So yeah, as you can see, if you're planning to do 100% character dining, maybe you're doing a short stay, 1 or 2 nights, and you're going to do 1 or 2 character meals, in that 100% of your stay is going to be character dining, then yeah, you're going to save money with the Royal Plan. However, if you don't utilize all your vouchers for character dining, there's no point in doing this. Do signature and then upgrade the 1 or 2 character meals to character if you require. So let's just have a quick comparison of the plans that are available versus the current plans. So what we've done is done it on half board. So one dinner, lunch or dinner, so you can flexibly use them, and also the hot buffet breakfast, because that's what's currently offered. So the current plus plan is £58 for adults, £36 for children, and we're The signature, that's going to rise around about £7 to £65 for adults, £39 for children. Again, we've had to sort of guess the exchange rate that Disney's going to convert these at. There will be a fixed pound price at some point once they've released them. Then the premium versus the royal, so the existing premium versus the new royal. And now that is coming down in price, but that character dining experience is for the breakfast is coming off that plan. So there's going to be slightly less value there with the new royal plan. So that's actually going to be about £18 cheaper at the moment. So again, not great value if you're not going to character dine all the time, but it has come down because the breakfast is going to be a standard buffet breakfast, not the full character dining, which is currently included. So let's have a look at these plans and sort of when would you use them. So essential, I think that's a good basic plan, to be honest. If you're booking late or if you're planning to just dine at the hotel, you want to prepay your meals, you don't want the hassle of having to sort of find, book or be searching through and dining in the theme parks. You want to go back to your hotel and have a fairly simple sort of the buffet at your hotel and keep things straightforward. Maybe you've got young children and you want to get back to the hotel to pop them to bed or have a bit of a rest before you go back to the fireworks. Then the essential plan is fairly good value for doing that. It's not going to give you a lot of options, so really only good if you're staying at Santa Fe or Cheyenne or even Crockett's Davy Crockett Ranch. But it is going to give you that basic option. You can prepay, and you will save a little bit of money on and paying out of pocket price if you're going to have one decent sort of buffet meal a day. But there are very limited options. There's no options really to have good value in the parks. You're going to be wasting money if you're spending it on the quick service in the parks. And obviously you have got a couple of options in Disney Village with that one. So very, very limited, but it is at a reasonable price, if that makes sense, compared to the out-of-pocket price. Now, extra is a really tough one to place. I'd say it's in between the essential and signature in its place, but it's not really giving me that much more for the value on essential. There's a couple of places in the parks, but not those signature places in the parks that I'd like to go to. And it's actually only £5 cheaper than the signature. And I think I would sway probably just pay for the signature and probably try and get those signature dining experiences or a few of those signature dining experiences rather than the ones that are on offer in the extras. So the extras I think the price is a bit weird. It's not quite midway in between essential and signature, but the offer's midway in between signature and essential. So yeah, it's a bit weird. And then royal. Really, this, again, as we've said 100 times now, this is just for character dining. This is not going to be an experience. If you're just staying in the Disneyland Hotel and you want to buy the best dining plan, this is a waste of money if you're not going to be doing character dining all the time. So you're going to be losing sort of £30 per person per meal plus if you don't use that on the character dining experience. So character dining only for royal. Other tips, I've alluded to this, half board all the way. I think full board is far too much food. It's far too much time out of the park. Very few people are going to sit down and do 2 sit-down meals, whether that be buffet or table service. Take that time out of the park. Plan your day around those reservations, unless you're going on a proper foodie trip. Then it could possibly work out. But yeah, otherwise I'd do half board. Then you can always fill the gap with a quick service lunch or snacks, pay out of pocket for those, and that'll give you the best value. Don't go for full board just because you want to prepay for all your food. You'll be prepaying £30 £40 for a meal that is only worth £20 if you end up using that in a quick service location, or less than £20 in a quick service location. So you're just chucking money away. So half board, add breakfast if you want it, and then add an out-of-pocket meal or snack throughout the days, or just budget for an out-of-pocket snack or meal, quick service meal as an extra to that. Don't go for full board because, as I say, spending those monies on quick service is just such bad value. Quick service, definite no-no. We've said this again 100 times now, but those average meal costs are between £14 and £21, with the average being around about 18 for a quick service meal. So even if you've bought a meal, an essential voucher that's £28, you're going to be losing sort of £10 on that meal. on average, that in value. So you could actually be losing up to £28. So for a family of four, that could be like over £100 of value loss across 4 meals. So just to be really, really careful. I would say you don't want to be spending any of those vouchers on quick service as much as Disney would like you to do so, and they're advertising that you can do. It's just such a waste of money to do that. However, do remember you can upgrade, and this especially is regards to character dining. So if you did want to upgrade one of your lunches, essentially you can do this with breakfast as well. If you want to upgrade it from a standard breakfast, hotel breakfast, or even probably a quick service breakfast, you can upgrade and pay the difference between that and the cost of the character dining meal. So you don't essentially lose too much in doing that. You can also potentially upgrade your voucher and use it in a restaurant that doesn't take it, but there might be a supplement to pay there again in the difference in cost. So possibly that could work out for you if you only want to do one of those signature experiences and just upgrade your essential voucher maybe so to cover the cost of the meal, but it's not going to maximize the value out of it. The best thing to do is to eat in the locations that it's designed to, except for the character dining, because you might want to do that as a one-off. Do once per trip, for example, and just upgrade one of your meal vouchers to a character dining and just pay that little bit of difference, or pay the difference in between. Other tips, you can book some table reservations, and you need to book table reservations, especially for those in-park experiences. Bistro Cher Ami, the Waltz, and Captain Jack's, as well as actually, so downtown as well is another one. So that's included in the signature plan now. So hopefully Captain Downtown Restaurant, which is currently very popular, but it is also the smallest restaurant. It's about half the size of most of the other restaurants on site. So it's more difficult to reservation. Hopefully with the new meal plans, that might sort itself out because it's a bit more exclusive, just only in that signature plan going forward. So yeah, just bear in mind, you can reserve up to 12 months in advance on the Disneyland app, whether you've got the meal plan or not. Even if you've not got the meal plan, you can still make your dining reservations 12 months in advance if you've linked your Disneyland stay in the Disneyland Paris app. And then you could just pay out of pocket when you arrive at the restaurant if you've not got the meal plan. So you don't need the meal plan to reserve, but if you have a reservation, you can reserve 12 months in advance. I think if you're off-site, they're currently working at around about a 60-day window for reservations if you've not got a hotel reservation. So if you do stay in a hotel, you do get first choice over those restaurants. So do book them early before they go, because they will go. Remember, you can do no plan. So you can just pay out of pocket. You might only want to do one dining experience, like sit down dining experience, one buffet during your 3-night, 4-night stay, in which case pay out of pocket, and paying quick service out of pocket is the cheapest thing to do, rather than going down the meal plan. It's just not right for you if you're not planning to do at least one meal per day. However, if you do the meal plan, your credits are interchangeable. So you could do 2 meals on one day and do no meals on the next day if you do it that way. So you can flex them around your stay. Remember that the right plan is not always the best plan or the most expensive plan. So just because the Royal plan is the most expensive doesn't mean it's the best plan and you're going to get the most out of it. You're only going to get the most out of it if you're planning to do those character dining experiences, for example. And likewise, doing the signature dining plan because you're staying at Newport Bay or it's Art of Marvel might not be the right thing for you to do if you are not planning on doing that many sit-down meals during your stay. So look and consider what is the best plan for your party, for your trip. Also, check the details. There's going to be, with the new launch, there's going to be travel agents and booking sites and all sorts of cowboys chucking stuff at you on the internet and through social media. We need to read the detail. We need to read the fine print. You need to know what's included. There's so many different options now with this meal plan of what can and can't be included. You need to be fully aware of what's included in that offer that your travel agent or the booking provider is offering you for that price. We always, at the Guide to the Magic, try to be crystal clear and fully transparent with what's included. We try not to leave anything to assumptions. And we also try to make sure that we're advertising realistic offers, which a family would go for or a couple would go for on their trip. So do be ultra cautious. Question what is actually included in this, in the price that you're being offered. If you've been offered something on the internet, or if you've been speaking to a travel agent, try and book with a Disney specialist if you want to do them. There's some good ones out there. Guide to the Magic, maybe. Do come and see us if you want us to assist you. I say we will be 100% honest and transparent. We'll explain the pros and cons of each option for you and let you make the decision on what you think is the right choice for you, whether that be hotels, meal plans, ticket types, or even the theme park or destination you're wanting to go to. So, saying that, yeah, please do get into contact with us. My name's Tim from Guide to the Magic, part of the Tim Potter Travel Company. So it is my company. I do pride myself in being a self-professed Disney and theme park holiday specialist. So please do get in contact with us. And also, if you'd like to follow our vlog trips, follow Pottering the Round. Me and my wife Emily, we go around theme parks as well as days out and hopefully share the experience. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you very much for taking the short amount of time to watch this video. I hope it all makes sense. As I said, some of the information at the moment is a little bit provisional, so we will reformat this video and probably republish this video with more accurate information once we've got the dots, the I's and the T's dotted once the release happens in September. I don't think we're going to be too far away with the information that's in this video, so something for you to think about. But if you've got any questions or would like to start planning your Disneyland Paris theme park trip, do get in contact with us. Contact details are below, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for watching and have a great day.